हनुमंतराव Sorry, T.S. Srinath, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court, इनको भी आमंत्रित कर रहे हैं हम और तालियों के साथ एक बार फिर स्वागत करेंगे T.S. Srinath, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court। तो एक बार फिर सभी का वेलकम हम करते हैं और थैंक्स।
Honorable Prime Minister, and this has also been placed to Loksabha. And because I happen to be from the profession of this transportation planning, I have also have a tremendous interest in understanding how this bill is going to improve the safety problem in our country. The question is that if you look at the overall perspective, that we generally have more than 1,50,000 people are taking field of the road. Every day there is going to be around 400 accidents happening. And ultimately, the situation is very bleak compared to the rest of countries like Japan, Sweden, Denmark, and they have been drastically reduced the roads. On the other hand, those whose action are decayed, unfortunately we find the commitment we have, the mandate we have to reduce 50% fatality by the year 2020, I think is going in good way. Every day, accidents keep happening and it is on an increasing trend. So this is a very unfortunate matter. That is, I think, the brief which has been tabled has their very relevance to the society. Just before before I get into the detail, and then I first have to see my responsibility as a chairman of this session to introduce my speakers. And we have 4 speakers with us, and they are all learned. And in fact, there were some people who happened to come as chief guest of honor, special guest. They did not turn up because of some other inconvenience. But anyway, I'm happy that we have 4 speakers with me, and I have around 1 hour 15 minutes, 45 minutes. 1 hour for 11 minutes. So we're going to finish at, we have 1 hour 15 minutes. That's all. Yeah. That's why I'm trying to see that where I am right now.
No, 1 hour 45 minutes is the session.
But we are around 12 o'clock.
Okay.
See that?
Yes, yeah.
But if you allow me, should we continue to 1:30?
No, yes.
up to 1:30 because permission of the chair. And this is, as I said, it's a vehicle, motor vehicle amendment bill. We have speaker with us. Our their use and when deliberate, I can you are in position to complete our presentation in around say 1 hour or so. Then we'll have 15 minutes. We can open for the discussion if you want. And so now before I hand over to Mr. Ashik Raman, then I just like to say a few words about the Motor Vehicle Act. And as I know from the bill so far, I feel that there has been some legality with respect to punishment or penalty has likely to be increased. And we also, I just want to welcome, there are a number of what do you call, amendment which has taken care of not only road safety, as I say, this is in relation to that your information technology, because ITS is going to be very important role. And of course, we have to see that when we have that bill, we have around 223 sections originally, and to see that around there is a lot of amendment has taken place, chapter 10 has been deleted, and 60 sections has been amended. And we see that there is a one aspect I has really enlightened me, which is, as I say, that e-governance platform where we are going to register all the vehicles on one platform we call Vahan, and all the vehicle users who are using the vehicle and who have a driving license, they will be registered in national platform through Vahan, the Sarathi. So Vahan and Sarathi has been introduced, and as a result of that, there is not duplication of your driving licenses. And I found that in our country, I have seen one driver can have as many as licenses possible to the United States. So in case you are in a position to control the driving license, we can be registered by the national register. And also another thing is that if anybody makes a violation, today the fine is around 100 rupees. Now it has gone to the extent of minimum 500 rupees, and driving also raises up to 10,000 rupees, and ultimately different kinds of penalty can go up even 1 lakh rupees also. So, and there is some, if there is a increase in amount is raised, that is going to be fear in the mind of driver, and perhaps this is the only intention which they want to reduce the price. Another important part is which I feel that even the hit and run accidents, because nowadays we have around 25,000 rupees. It has now immediately just raised to 2 lakh rupees. And one thing I have some kind of wrong feeling that responsible to the vehicle who has just hit the person. So these are some areas of darkness that need to be deliberated and see. Also, I find that that roll-ups stage, they would have permitting the states, the bill permitting the states to grant exemption in state carriage and contract carriage in order to promote the rural connectivity. Also, they also say perhaps promotion of public transport. And so therefore we would like to see that whether this kind of things which has been entered, anybody can do anything on the road. There is no any ethics of traffic disciplines. And anybody, and practically I notice how many billion of violation takes place in India in different states. Now how to just arrest that violations? So I think that the introduction of red light camera, speed camera, and initially to start with, of course in developed countries they have developed ITS architectures. I'm not here they have to put the seat belts. And even if some public places, they also will also try to see the security with respect to pedestrians and the vehicles. They said in a public place, state privilege to ensure that what should be the road, is it pavement, the road should be closed for vehicular traffic or should be pedestrian road. So he had the authority. So therefore, number of areas had been taken upon. But just I would like to say, though we talk about a lot of areas and other speakers will dwell upon in detail. But as an engineer, I feel that three areas, of course there are number of areas some other speakers will be going to bring and focus on view. But in my opinion, I find road accidents one of the very important areas for investigations. Because whenever you propose anything, we don't have any machinery or mechanisms to see the magnitude of accidents and why it is happening, how it is happening. So therefore, there is a need for road investigation mechanisms and scientific analysis. I think this part has not been built up in detail. So that mechanism needs to be brought in. And another area is also that because the driving license, when you are issuing, because I see that the driving training institute, even if you give 2,000 rupees bucks, it's that. So they are going to formalize the ITS, or the ITS provision is going to be good. And so now I find that once you have a driving license, before you go for a driving license, there should be a mandatory requirement that you should have a certificate that you have been able to learn to drive the vehicles through a recognized driving institute. I think this need to be also scaled up. Another area is that there are many accidents. You must have seen a lot of coverage comes in the media that accidents because of the bad roads, faulty road design. So there is no mechanism that and do not really penalize the contractor or concessionaire who is built the road. Actually, I know in abroad, if you do any bad design, even you are not supposed to do the bad design because once an engineer is a professional engineer certificate, he can only design and certify the road or implementation program. But here, you do any kind of road, there is not much auditing and any accident takes place because the roads are poor road design, nobody is accountable. So those are the gray areas I think that need to be also looked into in the course of action. So I will not go into the details. My speakers are eagerly waiting for their presentation and sharing their views. There was no time. I just request the past speaker Mr. Asif Khamis to give his views, make a presentation, and would like to take 20-25 minutes.
Good afternoon, everybody. Chairman of today's session, Professor P. K. Sarkar, Comrade KK Department, the Secretary WF, Mr. P.D.S. Nath, Senior Executive Secretary, Mr. Ahmed Rao, ladies and gentlemen. As you all are aware, the new Motor Vehicle Act has been introduced. Amendment bill has been introduced by the relevant departments and Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture. And the committee began its process of examining it clause by clause. The Motor Vehicle Act is the principal legislation in this country to regulate motor vehicles, motor transport in India. The earlier Motor Vehicle Act was of 1939. Thereafter, in the year 1988, the new Act came into being. But the new Act in the year 1988, which came into being, a very thorough notified notified committee was published, and there were a lot of learned people in this committee. Thereafter, there was another legislation proposed by the Sundar committee. A lot of deliberations took place on that, but that did also not see the way of light. And then after the new dispensation came in, we did many things in this road transport and safety bill. I would like to just mention one section of the version 1. Section 2, it was very clearly mentioned, declaration as to the expediency of control by the union. It is hereby declared that it is the expedient in public interest that the union should take over road transport under its control. So this was mentioned in the version 1. So thereafter a number of, like I said, the 5 versions came into being. And eventually, we now have about 88 sections proposed to be amended in the Act. So I will take you through my presentation. I think I would prefer to come down. Yeah. I would request the members to see that we just in mere reading of this proposed legislation, people will not be able to understand what is in store in this. So you need to do a lot of analysis. Our federation had formed a committee of very senior retired officers, especially from Tamil Nadu, and we have prepared this report. And these are basically the views of the federation. If there are any suggestions or corrections, or if the views differ, we are willing to sit and discuss and amend. No issues with that. Basically, I will take you from the negative aspect of the Act, and then certainly there are a few welcome suggestions, merits in the bill. That also I will make it. See, basically what has happened is, they are trying to introduce a section called 211A. There is also in the existing Act of 98, we do have section 211. Basically, there is only one change in 211A is that they want to add in section 211A electronic format. This is the only new addition into it. This electronic format has got very serious, in the long run, serious problems with that addition into it. But if need be, they can add that into the existing act in the bill, in the section itself. The 211 itself can be amended instead of making it a new section called 211A. Next. This I have written here as to what is section 211 in the existing act and what is section 211A. So basically what they want to do is, they want to create this 211A is to make it convenient for the people, the private people who want to enter into the discharge of functions of the Motor Vehicle Act as proposed. Next. Next. And this is one of the most damaging sections in the proposed Motor Vehicle Act. This is section 215A. So, as you see in the existing Motor Vehicle Act, after every chapter, the Parliament has very clearly defined what are the powers of the central government and what are the powers of the state government, where you can make rules. the power of the central government to make rules, the power of the state government to make rules. So those things exist in almost all the chapters. So this is a road safety chapter at the end of the existing act. So they have added section 215A. Section 215A, the main object is to empower, in 215A it is central government powers, and in 215AB it is state government. So what 215 section provides is that anything, next slide. See, it says delegation of any powers or functions that have been conferred upon it by the Act to any person, any individual person, the Government of India can give it to, or group of persons, or any agency, it says. So therefore it includes that the intention perhaps is understandable that it wants to give anything and everything to a private agency. So that is, they are asking the Parliament to give sweeping powers. So this is something which is not fair. So once this power is given to the central government, then anything can be given to anybody. And once it says that, and also we also oppose that it should also, the state should also not give it to private persons. So this is the main section which is going to create a lot of problem in the proposed Motor Vehicle Act. So they can give anything to the aggregators. When it says anything in the Motor Vehicle Act can be given to any person, group of persons, or any agency. So therefore this has to be very deeply dealt with, and under this they will get enormous powers. And once this passes in the Parliament and becomes an act, then they just have to give notifications and the rules. To make rules, they don't have to go to the Parliament, they have to just issue a draft, wait for 30 days and make it make a rule over it. Next. So this is what basically it is going, how this is going to affect, and even the rule making power also, when they give these powers to the private agencies, then probably they will also make rules as well. Next. So in every state we do have the Karnataka Motor Vehicles rules, the Tamil Nadu Motor Vehicle rules, the Kerala Motor Vehicle rules. So then again all this will have to be changed. Next. So like I said, 215A, in the similar pattern, they have also given it to 215B to the state governments as well. So this also we oppose, that we do not want the state also to privatize. But basically what will happen if once the central government privatize, there will be nothing left of the state government to again further privatize. Yeah, okay. So it is the same, the implications are the same as 215A and 215B as well. See, it also says that they can even appoint. Now there is a section 213 in the Motor Vehicle Act where establishment of transport department provision is there. So if they wanted it, this could have been amended in the existing 213 section itself. But they have brought it with ulterior motive to do as they want. So they have created this 215A, B, and C as well. Next. This is amending section 8. This is regarding learner's license. See, whenever a child becomes 18 years of age, at present, he prepares himself to take a learner's license. But now the government is proposing that they need not go to any RTO office to obtain a learner's license, and they can take a learner's license online itself. Because this is valid for 6 months, and then when they come to the RTO office for driving test, that time there can be a more stricter test and this thing. No doubt it is partly welcome, but partly we have to think that these days children and the present set of vehicles which are so powerful engines, and they also are also thinking, presently we have a provision of between 16 and 18 years there is a licensing provision up to below 50 cc. But unfortunately in the market in India, we don't have at present any motor vehicle which is having an engine capacity of 50 cc. So therefore, by and large, we have stopped issuing licenses for children between 16 years and 18 years because we fully know that if I issue a license, then this child is going to run a vehicle which is more than 50 cc. There have been instances, there have been court cases, and problems also have been arising out of it. Because when we know there is no vehicle, we have issued a license and the child has run that vehicle and he is into a lot of problems. So therefore, generally these days we issue. And this again, the government is contemplating to make it 100 cc. So therefore, at this age of 16 to 18 years is very vulnerable, as everybody knows. Most of the parents are unable to control the child, and these children take the vehicles in the night time, they do wheelies, drag races, a number of innocent children are killed. So it is not advisable that we make it 100 cc, and we also remove the learning license. We have something at present called as preliminary test. They have to pass the preliminary test to obtain a learner's license. And it has been very simplified. You can take, there is a new software called Sarthi 4. In Sarthi 4, you have to upload your age proof, you have to upload your address proof, and then you have to just bring the web check-in number to the office and tell them, and then you can also pay the fees online. Whatever 30 rupees fees is there, you can pay online and just come, meet the officer and give the web check-in letter. Then he will be asked to be able to sit on a computer. He will be given 15 questions. He has to answer these 10 questions, and the moment he passes that, he will take the printout of the learner's license and go. It has been made so simplified. The new software, Sarthi 4, is running, has started in almost all the states now. It has been started in few offices, but very soon, all over the country, this software is going to come. Sarthi 4. So once that comes, it is going to become very easy. You don't waiting period and all that. So children, I feel that they should, unless we force them, if there is a test, only then if there is an exam, children will prepare. So before we put them on the road, it is mandatory that they learn the basics of it. Only after knowing the road regulations, traffic signs, it is better that they go to the road. Next. Yeah, this is what I told you, they want to remove the preliminary testing part of it. Next. Yeah, this is again the same thing. And one more problem is there, is regarding this physical ability of a person. Now that when you have to come to the office, we see the person physically. But tomorrow if he doesn't have to come and take it online, so a person with one eye, one hand, one leg, anybody can take it. And then he knows if he comes for the test, he will not get a license. So every 6 months he will be taking one learner's license and then use that as long as he wants to. So this is going to become a problematic thing. So because of that this is not admissible. And one more thing in that they have introduced is that they have removed the jurisdiction, though it was the power of the state government to fix the jurisdiction for registration, licensing, etc. Now they have told that you can take it anywhere in the state. You can register a vehicle anywhere in the state, and you can take a license anywhere in the state. Earlier in the Road Transport and Safety Bill, they had mentioned it as anywhere in the country. But that has now come down to state. For example, see, the existing state government also have made a lot of changes. For example, in the state of Karnataka, In Bangalore city, we have about 10, 12 offices. We have made no jurisdiction. You can go to any of the 10 offices for any work, for a license, for a registration. So these things we ourselves, the state government themselves, wherever they have felt need, they have done it. So that is within the powers are with the state government, so they are actually using it. So even in the licensing procedure, this is a welcome thing, and they are proposing that they want to have all the driving testing should be done with automated driving testing tracks. There should be no powers to the testing authority that he could do on his own, just by visual testing. This will be automated and it will be completely recorded. We have this type of automated driving tracks in different states. We have it. The first one was started in Karnataka and Bangalore. And after that, we have this type of tracks in a number of states at present now. So in section 9, what they want to do is an amendment. For example, if you are aware, for taking a commercial license now, a person should be 20 years of age, he should have passed 8th standard of qualification, and he should have a light driving license, which is with an experience of 1 year to obtain a further license, a transport license. So that condition is being relaxed by this government, but we welcome this because there is a lot of unemployment and this needs to be removed. And 8th standard qualification has to be removed, we welcome it. But what the government is proposing is, in addition to that, these exemptions will be given to the driving schools, motor driving training schools, who are accredited to a private body, which will be announced later on. So there could be a possibility of disparity between the existing driving schools or the driving schools which are accredited. So this probably accredited, it should not happen that only also we have a new software called Sarthi, Vahan 4. So even in Vahan 4, what has happened is, the dealer, we have given a link to the dealer can enter all the registration particulars online, he can pay the taxes online, he can pay the fees online, send all the data to the office, and then just produce the vehicle for inspection and get it registered. And even after registration, the registration certificate is being sent by speed post directly to the owner. So this is already in place. But what the government now proposes in this amendment in the registration chapter is, they want to give complete power. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is also regarding registration because we are objecting it because as registering authorities, tomorrow there is any court cases happening. The problem is then the registering authority will appear before the courts. And supposing in case if the address proof, the details obtained by the dealer, if they are fraudulent, then the authority who registers, being a public servant, he cannot go and commit for whatever wrongdoings of the dealer. And tomorrow as a public servant, you can take any type of action against him for the wrongdoings. But a dealer, you cannot do anything. At the most, you can be penalized 30,000. So I don't think for any type of an offence, it could be a small vehicle or a big vehicle. People cannot in India afford one vehicle is lost and you can take another. So here if your son commits an accident, supposing a death, it's an accident or something. So that particular vehicle has to be scrapped. They have to cancel the registration, that is what they have proposed. Maybe we can, anyway he has to go to jail for all the offences he has committed, whatever punishment is prescribed, he will have to go. So the vehicle also will be scrapped unless it's a new vehicle. It doesn't make sense. I think people may think it's a dead rent, but I think that is too much. Maybe we can suspend the registration for 1 year or so that he keep it idle because after 1 year his investment is safe. That vehicle he can get back. Next. Yeah, this is a very welcome this thing for fitness certification. The government has proposed from 1st of October to the STU, or the government funded organization. But now the government of India is also thinking that they will also make central schemes. So when the central scheme is made for all the interstate operations, etc., it will prevail over the state scheme. That is for sure. So therefore, it will create a conflict. See, we can understand the government of India auctioning coal blocks, then spectrum, 3G, 4G, etc., which earns thousands and thousands of crores as revenue to the government. But here, if the government of India is sitting into regulation of auctioning of permits, etc., routes, it doesn't make sense. There is not much revenue involved in it. So what will happen is, in the form of aggregators or big operators, so these people will take over and all the existing small operators will be out of business. So they are also, especially the STUs, will be very badly affected. Once the private players are allowed to come in, then in fact if you see in the road transport and safety bill, this chapter 6 which is especially for the STUs, state transport undertaking, was removed. The chapter itself was removed from it. But now that they are amending into the existing Motor Vehicle Act, that chapter exists. But instead of that, now they are trying to do it that they will parallelly induce this private system, so that automatically you will get a slow poison. It's like a slow poison to the STU. So this also needs to be examined properly. Yeah. Done. Next. Yeah, it's all over. Next. Yeah, in the insurance chapter, I'd like to just mention there are some discrepancies, like they want to cap presented, and we have analyzed it as to what were the sections which were from the road transport and safety bill which have been brought into this. And if anybody needs any clarification, they can get in touch with me. Thank you.
Interrupt you very much because I think that even if you have got for another company licensing, if partner gives the license online, there is some kind of danger. So those things need to be looked into.
It's not action to each and every provisions of the Act. My endeavor is only to highlight what exactly the intention behind these amendments. My point is that this enactment is with the stamp of globalization, liberalization. That is the basic premise of this legislation. Though there are salutary features such as good Samaritan approach regarding saving the accident, injured persons, and all that. See the provision regarding limiting the insurance liability of the insurance company. The provisions that with my speaker, the point is that the reason for this amendment is now you have already allowed foreign players in the insurance field. Not only allowed them, now 49% share can be kept by foreign insurance companies. So to facilitate, to promote them, to liberate them from this liability, now the insurance liability is fixed as 10 lakh in the case of death and 5 lakhs in the case of severe injury. This is the basic premise of this Act. And the other one aspect is outsourcing the powers of the central government or state government. That's a provision totally against the constitution. Now, whatever the powers given to the central government and authorities under the central government can be outsourced by the central government by a single notification. That too, not to any other authority under the Act. The word is any person or group of persons. This is a provision that you should challenge because this is against the Constitution. Such an arbitrary provision is strictly against Constitution and you can challenge that. Thirdly, '84, I think, is amended. I'll show you this. Without defining an offense clearly, one of the clauses in the new amendment says, any action which is not expected to be from a prudent driver is an offense. And for that offense, you can be punished, penalty can be imposed. The fundamental principle of criminal law is that offense should be clearly defined. There cannot be any subjective appreciation of the offense. It should be objectively defined. Without objectively defined, in various terms, offense is described and enhanced punishment is given. So that is an area you have to fight against. Then the introduction of aggregated. Plainly speaking, it is only to give statutory making for the present call taxi system. Call taxi system is already old, but there is no specific legal backing for that. Now, you can solicit transport business and promoting that, you can slowly cause erosion to the existing public transport system, and that may in turn go to the abolition of all transport corporation. So it's a slow pathway, a backward pathway to privatize entire public transport system and torpedoing of transport corporation. It has got another aspect also. See, each state has its own specific characteristic needs in the field of transportation. But state government powers are totally taken away by the central government. Central government can now fix a uniform transport policy. Of course, subject to consultation with state government. We know the impact of consultation. But there is no provision permit state government to fix their own transportation policy by way of amendment or otherwise. That power is taken away with central government. So, individual states, individual needs cannot be sought under this Act. That is applicable to the existing powers of the RTA, RTO and all other authorities. Because the power can be delegated to person or group of person. So, taken away by the accident. And one other important thing is that one misconception regarding Comrade Krishnaiah just made a reference that power of the civil court is taken away in the matter of illegality committed by registering authority or authorities. There I got my own view. Thing is that no court doesn't mean the writ jurisdiction of the High Court is not taken away. This is the provision available in all new statutes. It is already held by the Supreme Court and High Court that no court doesn't mean that High Court is affected. High Court's power under Article 226 is intact. It is not taken away. So, any violation of any of the provisions by the statutory authorities, registering authorities, necessarily you can approach the High Court. That power is there. It is not touched at all. So, these are the basic aspects. All statute aspects are clearly demonstrated by the respected speaker. So, I am not referring to that. These are my opinion on the subject for the time being. If at all we need further exploration, it can be on another occasion. Thank you. And my name is wrongly given in this on its correction. I am PVS now, not PSP now.
Yes.
PVS now.
Mr. Nag, thank you for the
Honorable Chairman and Mr. Arab Ahmed, Mr. P.S. Nag, Mr. Ahmed Rao, my dear friends. I don't want to, the mechanics, the basic mechanics, the workshops, and the driving schools, and so on and so on. There are lakhs of workers working in this field. How it affects? Every time, our Honorable Minister, Mr. Nidhi will say, in a sugar-coated words, that all these things are going to be introduced to reduce the accidents. I don't know how to reduce the accidents. Mr. Ahmed has elaborately explained the details of this, the consequences and the details of this bill. Can we curb the road accidents by empowering the dealers as registering authorities? Can we do that? Entrusting the inspection of vehicles for fitness certificate and the issue of driving license will reduce the road accidents. These are the points in the new act. Whether the road accident will come down by privatization of state transport undertakings, by way of new schemes, whether allowing aggregators will bring down the road accidents, whether capping the self-employment of taxi auto drivers by introducing aggregators like such as Uber, Ola, bring down the rate of road accidents, whether the scrapping of regional transport officers by way of inducting persons and group of persons to save the life of road users, whether the accident will be minimized by transferring the power of real intention. Mr. Nal has actually he has revealed, uncovered the hidden agenda of this bill. That is one point I would like to say. Now, the democracy is taking backseat nowadays. How they try to introduce this bill in the parliament? Actually, they wanted to pass the bill without any discussion. Without any discussion. The Transport Minister introduced the bill in the parliament without circulating it to the parliament members also. The parliament members raised their objection, irrespective of the political objection, everybody, except the ruling party. Then it was assured that that will be circulated the next day. On the next day itself, the minister wanted to pass the bill in the parliament. They are hijacking the democratic norms. In this, the corporatization of the entire sector of the road transport, that is what I want to submit before this domestic house. One. Second, see, yesterday's some debates it was said that the transport sector is one of the main area where the employment will generate. As I reported earlier, about 5 crores of workers are working in this sector. But the total unionized workers are less than 30 lakhs. We represent a majority, big, not a majority, we represent a big unit. We have got only 7 lakhs. Out of 30 lakhs unionized people, we got only 7 lakhs. Most of the workers are unorganized. But for the first time in Indian history, the transport workers in India, against this Road Transport Safety Bill and then this Motor Vehicle Act, then they have demonstrated nationwide with a top strike on April 30th. April 30th strike. That was very successful. Though the unionized people were only 30 lakhs, the total participation in the strike is more than 2 crores. It was very surprised to us. More than 2 crores of workers participated in the strike. Not only that, subsequently, the next September 2nd strikes, 2015 and 2016, the same thing is happened, repeated. All the traders, irrespective of their political affiliations, and the workers, they don't have any unions. They are not unionized. They are joined in the strike. What is the Indian situation? In the world, our country is the largest number of people living under poverty line. 225 million people of India are living under poverty line. The international poverty line that is already declared. $1.9. But majority of the people are living under this poverty line. Now what will happen? Now the government is trying to introduce the automation in all sectors. What happened? The making in India, it was said that new jobs, new employment will be generated. How many employment generated in the last year? Only 1.3 lakh employment was generated during the last year. Now automation is going to be taken place. That is not giving the transport sector also. According to information that is appeared in the newspaper, now new taxis are going to be introduced without driver. Driverless taxi. The government is committed to generate more and more employment, one side. But at the same time, the employment rate is being reduced every year. At this juncture, we have to review this bill and all that. And another thing, not only the truck drivers or transport drivers or bus drivers, there are lakhs of wayside mechanics. What else are there? Their future is also blue. What is their future? Not only that, in various shops, these spare parts shops, that will also be shut down. Lakhs of workers are working that same. Within 2 weeks. That will also be, those shops will also be shut down. This is the situation. In the present situation, how to act against this draconity? That I am saying that it is a draconity. How to fight? And the implications are already stated here. Therefore, I do not want to impress. It is anti-constitutional. This bill is anti-constitutional. It is grabbing the rights of the states. Given the tax, that's the right of the state government to collect. The tax that is being collected by the central government and distributing among all states. And now, while this bill is under consideration in the parliament, they have brought some other, they have introduced some amendment in the Motor Vehicle Act in another way. That is a permit system, tourist permit. That tourist permit, a new system is introduced, authorization of permits. If that is introduced, those who are having these permits can pay services throughout the country without the license of permit. That will also undermine the total transport system, passenger transport system in India. Therefore, this act and the punishment and everything, I do not want to repeat it again. And this, it is against the federalism. This amount, the tax amount that I listen, the tax amount will be distributed among all states. When one bus starts from Kanyakumari and going to Delhi, it does not touch Nagaland, Manipur, nowhere. But the tax which is collected will be distributed to those states also.
I think we're not getting to that tax right now.
This is also. Therefore, I think that one who can make this bill is to be defeated, and with these words, I conclude. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that you have one of the sentiments on this bill, and because you also said this is draconian bill, but it's a matter of debate and deliberation. I would like to, but by the way, I am extremely happy that we have brought that ITS culture, intelligent transport system, because one of the major things which can reduce road accident, I think that could be intelligent transport system. The red light and shooting. Because if it is transparent, I think this will be very major. Anyway, I would like to go into the debate, so I request the next speaker, Honorable Mr. Ramandera, very veteran, senior learned. So I request
In a city like Delhi, 25% of the waking time is spent on transport. So 16 hours a day, 2 hours up and 2 hours down, 4 hours, 25% of the time is spent. And safety is very important in class. To improve safety, we require laws, we require. Unless you improve driver, you cannot have safety. And what is the? We require more than 2 crores of drivers every year. 2 crores. What is the training? What is the force? Depending on the need of the hour and at the time. We have 4 All India Motor Vehicle Acts, 2014. First time it came with only 17 sections, only driver and vehicle registrations, nothing else. Then in 1939 we have another act which replaced the 14 Act. Then they introduced RTAs, STAs and all that to regulate bodies. After 20 years. Then after 50 years in 88 we wanted to liberalize, we wanted to improve. We have 88 years. Now we would like to have, because the accidents every minute there is an accident. Every minute. And our accident statistics are underestimates. We spend more than 3 lakh crores every year as a social cost of accidents. There is a need to improve our law. To improve. Law does not have eyes. This is the saying. And we build laws. And those laws, how far they are valid in our socio-economic society. Now, Chairman has already warned me that it will take 5 minutes. It is hanging like a sword on my neck. Whatever I want to talk, I have a feeling that he may ring the bell and say you have spoken enough and I will go.
I will not do that.
Sir, the punishments I have told you, punishments will not solve the problem in any society. The reason why they have brought international consultants and wanted that they have to be repaired. They have brought what is the fine there in dollars, they multiplied by the rate and then increase it. The per capita incomes are different, these per capita incomes are different and all these are. And many of the drivers will be in the jails if they put the same on the implementation. Fortunately, we don't have the implementation in this country. Anyway, punishments are not the source, and then that is a major. Another is from the government, they are bringing in corporate culture in the new scheme. Actually, previously we had state carriage permit and we had a contract carriage permit. These are the two different. Now, what they want to bring is, they want to have chartered permit, metered permit, scheduled permit. And they want to have in public transport a seating capacity of less than 5. That means all cars will be in public transport only. We are telling public transport is going down. They want to improve public transport by giving permits to small cars and this. Now what you are finding is, if you want to go to Agra, now you have to depend on buses. Now there are more cars. Like that from Hyderabad, if you want to go to Vijayawada, from go to Bangalore or go to intercity travel, which is now being in by buses, tomorrow will be converted into by cars. And small occupancy vehicles are more demand responsive. Bus system cannot compete with Actually, public transport advantages are in less road space, in better fuel consumption, in less congestion. All these are using higher occupancy vehicles. Now all our permits tomorrow will be with the method, with the, actually they say less than 12, less than 4, less than 9. Actually bus system will be completely killed. And even today the production is 99% of our production is small occupancy vehicles. And all these today do not have much of market. And the public transport market is being offered to the small car segment of production. This is a very dangerous situation. Another day, of course, special provisions of STUs, they have removed it completely. The appointment of a conductor in the transport bus system completely removed. They say, what is the that is not that. We don't have that is individuals. You have a cleaner, you have a conductor, but our population is rural. They don't know what are the staffs. They require some assistance. Where to get out, where to get out. And even if there is a conductor, they are not able to guide. They ask 10 times where to get down, I have to go there. So many people, think from rural culture to urban culture, people are still migrating. They require a lot of money. And almost 50% of population will be in urban areas, and 75% of our GDP will be in urban. And providing a conductor, what happens is, they have done for a he does a lot of work. It is not only collection. It is helping the people. It is making 85% of people depending on public transport, and you remove a conductor who is a helping hand, then probably I feel socio-economic cultural situation needs some guidance, some help, and then tendering process. Actually, in all other countries, they are giving help to the public transport. Here, the access center. You make a business, you make it. Actually, it's not only development. What is it social development and move people? Then unless you bring market accessibility to the rural population, unless you bring low, actually if you see our statistics, our population below poverty line is 30%. If you see our ration cards, if you see actually that population, if you see 80 to 90% of actually there was so many, and transport cannot be taken as a business. In many areas, there are intercity routes, there are. Now what is happening is loss-making routes for STUs and profit-making routes for the private. This is what is happening in probably, and friends, while these are the negative aspects, there are a few things which I feel we should welcome. One of the welcome is planning. Today, we don't have any emphasis on planning. Because the Sarkar is in charge of a college where they do wonderful work. Since Delhi, how many buses do they require? Bangalore, how many? Hyderabad, how many? You can tell how many buses you have, but how many buses we should have, we don't know. How many auto rickshaws should we have? Once upon a time when I go to Surat, I used to have 300, 400 buses. Today if I go, not even 50 buses. And 1 lakh auto rickshaws. How many autos are required? How many? See what happens is, all modes complete each other. If one mode is not increasing, other modes increase. And then they repeat. On Vijayawada route, in Vijayawada, I used to find a lot of city buses. Today buses are vanished. And what you find is auto rickshaws. And a shared auto. And then people don't have them. That's on the main roads, if you are going to have autos, and then 50, then safety, every problem comes in. That's why this act gives a lot of emphasis on that. Say you should have a plan for development, you should have a plan for city, you should have a plan for the state, you should have a plan for interstate operation, you should have a plan. And all of professionalism is included. We should not condemn the whole act as such. See, one IAS officer trying to do as a transport commissioner and without any background, actually we tried, I know. And most of the police officers and most of the transport commissioners, what they tell me is, you are opening the eyes in our training, in our culture. We have never undergone a training. We never had a concept. And I am posted as a police commissioner. Where to make one-way street, where to make it. We don't have, we have to depend on a CI or a DSP. Like that, you have transport commissioner, you have managing director of road transport corporation, you should have, secretariat, all the three organs where transport, there is not even one planner. Lot of powers are there. And a lot of, and they have to manage the society's affairs without knowledge. Society's problems cannot be solved without knowledge. And probably these people have to. They are not of funding. Actually, they have given safety bill. Safety in the 1988 Act, you see, there are 217 sections. In the last chapter, that section, 13th chapter, 215 sections talks about it. Last chapter, last section talks about safety in the previous act. Whereas in the present act, it comes in the first chapter. In the first section, it talks about safety. See, because acts always reflect what are the problem at those times. And this act talks about safety in the first chapter. In that way, and they have tried to provide a lot of funding. Instead of one transport commissioner doing, they have separated authority for safety and authority for transport. And not one officer, dozens of officers they have provided to. It is today transport is undermanaged. Actually, one motor vehicle inspector gives 100 licenses every day. What testing, what, and no infrastructure. And he gives so many fitness certificates without testing. That won't give you, only these are all paper transactions, not on competency transactions. I know so many motor vehicle inspectors themselves cannot drive vehicles. The reason is, they were never trained. The fault is not theirs. In a period of 50 years, so many models have come, so many. And when I asked them, sir, they have given me a uniform and they have given me a challan book and they said that 50 lakhs is your target. You are going for the training, but still your target has been made up after you take. This is the type of culture we have. And all this is, they try to change. Yeah, oh, sir. They brought in a lot of professionalism. They brought, thank you very much.
In fact, I love to have more deliberation and the way it presented. I would have eager, but the point is that I have been constrained.
I know.
So
Thank you very much for giving me this much of time.
So it's my constraint. I would have loved to hear from you more anyway. I think it's my duty to sum it up. But I also see it was started with Mr. Ahmed, the president, and I think that he had given maximum time as much as 30 minutes. He dealt upon various aspects of motor vehicle business, and he just shared that bar as a weakness, and I found that many people also talked about the weakness of the bill and practically how the bill is going to be privatized, and it is given private people to really make a big impact, and gradually the power of the state is going to be diminishing, and ultimately it is going to be the state government which is going to take their show. So there is going to be a lot of impacts, but we also see there's a lot of importance with respect are the missing one. In case you allow, obviously, rather than improving safety, you will find a lot of conflict. That's one of the very important point. And he talked about the juvenile offense. You see that it can lead to the cancellation of driving license and automation of inspection centers. It has its own credibility, but another question is that we have to develop the mechanism practically, especially in the transport sector. So, what I feel, sort of corruption takes place. Don't take it otherwise. Corruption is the driving license. And people issue the driving license whether they have learned to drive a vehicle or not. This is my view. I don't know anybody who learn. I know I have to be one of the television media, and there's a report from the bank from Karnataka. They said they generate 3 crores of rupees because of this kind of driving license. So one of the major attempts, I know there is looks because that is the reason government is trying to put the things transparent. So of course there is going to be some deficit, and so we have to dwell upon how best we can give response to that. And so I don't like to go into the more detail, and later on I think we have Mr. PSB Nath. He also is a senior advocate. He also talked about the third party insurance and when he's going to give foreigners, because they have already litigated the 10 lakhs for faculty. So that means he can run away after paying 10 lakhs. But ultimately, which I also mentioned in the beginning, that is another area that you are why you have that pay you were 10 lakhs. So that must need to be looked into. You are outsourcing by the central government. We are taking into that aggregators. Aggregators should have those, should have a license, but there should be guidelines. Have the guidelines have been framed. Improve the guidelines, how can we just give the licenses? So those things have to be looked into before automatic comes into operations. But he also talked about that before formulating the road legislation, it's a very important thing. We have to make sure the roads condition, control systems are conducive for driving. I find most of the time, even if it's a national highway, even most of the a significant percent of the national highway is one lane. Then if you look at our scenario of the road transport, I think very, very bad. So until the roads are conducive enough for drive, so we should think right that we should right now the legislation, make a legislation should be very thoughtful that how to make the roads condition conducive for driving. We also talked about without defining the offense. So if you are just to give rate offended and you are punished and punishment is decided, so this is also not correct. So these are some of the areas which are stated in detail. Then I just it's very nicely presented these views. Then I thank Mr. Divakaran, who is the General Secretary of AIRPWA. He mentioned about the number of people in the sector, which is around 4 to 5 crores people working in the sector, and I do not know what kind of conditionalities they are meeting in day-to-day life, and that is the situation. We talked about the negativity, but I am very happy that we talked about the positivity with respect to planning. Because in planning because they've given a more direction, they also talked about that this bill has been able to bring the safety in the first instance, and that is the need of that. So, and also to say that how the planning to be make positive and safety to be given topmost importance. I think that with that note, I don't like to go into the detail. With that note, I thank all my speakers because they made such a good presentation. Even I have been also, I think that I still feel myself other than the learning curve. I think that I have also benefited from your past experience. With that note, I just now I request Mr. Muswami, because anyway, before I call Mr. Muswami, I say thank you when I give let us give a big applause. And now I think that I will call the person of thanks already. So, because there is I think there is mementos to be presented to the honorable speakers. So, okay.
Just two announcements, dear friends and participants. Yesterday evening only, we were able to collect 3-4 papers presented here. So, we will arrange for the duplication of those papers. During the lunchtime or immediately after reassembly, we will supply the copies to all the participants. After the presentation of mementos and adjourning of the session, we will break for lunch. Immediately after lunch at 2 o'clock, the valedictory session will start. For that valedictory session, top national political party leaders and other fraternal organization leaders will address, and what were the conclusions of this 5 sessions that will be delivered here. So, all the comrades are requested to be here after lunch at 2 o'clock till the session ends. Please.
First, we are giving one memorandum to Professor P.K. Sarkar. Then